Welcome my students. In this video we are going to learn about different measures of central tendency. But before that we should know some statistical tools which is used in mathematics also. The summation sign. First I am writing the summation sign. It's something like a line M. M is lying like that. Now the summation sign I write here summation xi. I is equal to 1 to n. It means that we take sum on different values of xi's. The first one is x1. Why it is for x1? Because I is equal to 1. Then here put I is equal to 1 and we get what? It is x1. Then comes the term x2. We put a plus sign here because of the summation sign. Summation means addition. Now it will go up to last value. Here you know I is equal to 1 to n. So last value is n. So I am writing here xn. This is the first thing you have to learn here. Now if you understand the above line, then it is easy for you to verify that sum over yj j runs from 1 to k will be simply for j is equal to 1 yj is equal to y1, and for j is equal to 2 yj will be y2, and lastly the last value of j here is k, so that will be yk. And there are so many different examples you can put in your copy and practice. Okay, now I am going to show you some property which is related to this summation sign. When there is sum of cxi I runs from 1 to n, we can write it the inside summation sign we get cxi, and running it over from 1 to n we can get the first term cx1, and the second term obviously c is a constant, cx2, and like that we can get c of xn. We can get c of xn here. Now you know that we can take c common here, c common, so we are getting x1 plus x2 plus and dot 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 xn, and this thing you know, this is again the summation of xi I is equal to 1 to n. So what we get here? We get if any constant within the summation sign, then this comes out of the summation sign and it is very easy to understand. Now the next one is summation xi plus yi for I is equal to 1 to n. The first term here you can easily understand. If I is equal to 1, the first term will be x1 plus y1. If I is equal to 2, the second term will be x2 plus y2. And obviously we can go up to xn plus yn. And we put the summation sign in between. Okay. Now you see that we can take the first terms within the brackets into another bracket like this. x1, the x terms we are taking x terms in a bracket, and the y terms, that is these ones, y1, y2, and so on up to yn we are putting in another bracket. And it is, you understand it, this is summation xi and this is summation yi. So I write it summation xi and summation yi and give the proper ranges. So what we find here? We find that if there is some addition within the summation sign, then it can be breakable. It can be breakable into two sums. Now we are going to an example. If there is axi plus byi within the sum, then by the above rule 4 we can break into it into two sums like that, summation axi plus summation byi. both are I is equal to 1 to n and I is equal to 1 to n. And you know, by the rule 3 here above, that is the constant terms comes out, you know, the constant term c comes out of the sum. So here we can write, here a is a constant, so a will come out the sum. It will be a summation xi and b summation yi. And you know, the ranges are the same, I is equal to 1 to n and I is equal to 1 to n. So this is an application of rule number 3 and 4 simultaneously. Now a very important property, we will prove that summation xi minus x bar sum over I is equal to 1 to n. Summation xi minus x bar sum over I is equal to 1 to n is equal to 0. This is very important property. You know, x bar is the arithmetic mean of some numbers, that is summation xi by n with the proper range. Okay. Now let us prove this. It is very important for your application in central tendency chapter. The left hand side is summation xi minus x bar. So we take like this, summation xi I is equal to 1 to n minus summation x bar I is equal to 1 to n. One thing I must show you that if any constant summation c is summed over I is equal to 1 to n, we get what you know, we get c plus c plus c and c for each of n terms. So it is up to n terms, so it will be n into c. Similarly, if we write summation x bar I is equal to 1 to n, since x bar does not depend on I, it is a constant over there, so it will be n into x bar. Putting this in this equation, what we get, summation xi I is equal to 1 to n and minus nx bar. So what we see from this, we can get that summation xi is equal to nx bar. Summation xi is equal to nx bar. So instead of summation xi, we write nx bar, and there is nx bar, so it becomes 0 is equal to right hand side. So we have proved it. We have proved it that summation xi minus x bar sum over I is equal to 1 to n is equal to 0. Now an example of the above, we can take the values 1, 2 and 3. Here x bar is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 by 3. So it will be, you know, 2. Now summation xi minus x bar, here will be I is equal to 1 to 3. Here will be 1 minus 2 plus 2 minus 2 plus 3 minus 2. Okay, so minus 1 plus 0 plus 1, that is 0. So you can check it up with any values. It will always provide you the answer 0. So it is an identity. Okay. So we have completed the first notation in our chapter in statistics and in especially in central tendency, some properties. Number 1, summation xi sign constant times cxi, constant comes out here, you know, and then sum can be divided into two sums and application of these. Okay, I think you understand this. We will come in the next class and talk a little bit more about this.